dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Wait a minute, that's not Terminator. But ladies and gentlemen, of course, my name is Blitzwinger, and oh my, check out what we're going to be taking a look at today. This is the Avengers. Yes, Avengers Age of Ultron Interactive Hulkbuster from the Titan Hero Tech lineup. I have to admit, when I saw the Titan Hero lineup, I was like, oh my god, these toys look awful. And if you want to see some of them, I mean, they really do look pretty terrible. They look very bad. Most of them do. When I saw this thing, however, I was like, oh my god, that looks insanely cool. The scale is huge. Like, look at that. That's my hand. And look how massive this thing is. Typically, in Canada, this guy retails for $39.99. So that's $40. And then, of course, taxes, so it rounds up to about $45 or so. Now, I don't know if this is a case for all of the Targets across Canada, but the Target close to me, they've already begun clearing out a lot of their stuff, already having crazy sales. So I managed to get this guy for $24.99, which was a really good deal in my opinion for the size of this toy. It looks awesome, and I'm very much looking forward to opening him up, checking him out, see what he can offer, just kind of see what kind of articulation he might have. It looks like his shoulders do rotate, his head rotates. The legs don't seem to have anything, but we'll see in just a moment. And then what I want to do is I'd like to put a little bit of paint applications on this guy and see how he turns out once we do that. So with all that in mind, let's go on ahead and unbox this fella and take a look at the Hulkbuster from the Titan Hero Tech line. Alrighty guys, so I have got the Hulkbuster out of packaging, messed around with the figure quite a bit, and I have to say, I am very happy to have paid 25 bucks for this. I think that honestly, I would say that $40 is a bit much for this figure. I think that if you can get it for $30, that's an awesome price point for this figure, because you might genuinely not realize the size of this guy. But for example, I got a little minifigure down here, a Lego minifigure, and look at that. Like, that's his legs. Like, look, he is absolutely massive. Like, this figure is huge. It is so very cool. This is probably going to be the most affordable way to get a decently, not only done up Iron Man Hulkbuster, but more importantly, he has a ton of cool detail work, and it is especially present on his back here. By the way, he might talk by me sometimes because this is a Titan Hero figure, and sometimes they hear your stuff, or if you move them around, they interact with you. So if he says something, don't get mad at him. He's just trying to be a part of the video. So you can see, of course, a bunch of like little repulsor points right here. So if you painted those up, which is exactly what I plan to do, I'm going to try to paint those up. And then what I will most likely do, since it's going to take me a few, most likely even weeks to actually get all this done, I'll tweet out on twitter.com/Blitzwinger. So definitely follow me on there, and I'll tweet out some pictures of this guy painted up, and maybe like in progress or work in progress pics too, if you guys would enjoy seeing that. You can see a whole bunch of lines right here, which could be panel lined and painted. That would be lovely. So that's exactly what I'm thinking of doing with this guy. Another thing that impressed me about this figure is that, unlike a lot of the other Titan Hero figures that I've seen, they felt like cheap and kind of like, just really plasticky. This guy's definitely plasticky, like, don't get me wrong, he feels like a giant toy, but I think with a decent paint job, that's not going to be the case. And more importantly, another thing that's really cool about him, this is like a perfect toy for kids. Like, if you want yourself to have if you want to own a Hulkbuster and you're a kid and you just want to make sure that you can, like, ram it into the wall or whatever. I mean, obviously, to a certain extent, you can't just, like, drive a car over this thing and be like, yeah, it's okay, because it's not going to be okay. But this thing is pretty sturdy. It feels sturdy. It doesn't feel like it's going to break. Like, it feels pretty tough, you know what I mean? Which is great. So you can definitely give this thing a beating and it will be fine. So that's really good, because a lot of times, with these kinds of toys, I get worried that they're going to break easily because they seem to be in that kind of more budget line, so it feels like they're gonna break easier. But since this guy is in a more premium price point, I don't worry about that, and he doesn't feel like he will. Another thing that I love about this guy is that he just has this presence about him. Like the way they sculpted this figure, like you can definitely feel like it's this huge bulky chest, and it definitely feels like you're looking at something that is going to go down toe to toe with the Hulk and not gonna have a hard time of holding its own. You know, it just looks cool. It's very menacing, and again, as I said before, with a cool paint job, it's gonna look that much cooler. Additionally to all of that, it actually has some actual articulation points, which surprised me. They're not super great. I mean, basically what you get is a rotation of the arm on this side. This side doesn't have a full rotation because it has a gimmick right here, so you can get the arm about this way and then about this way. I mean, you can kind of push it further, but beyond this point you don't want to, because it just feels like there's something holding against it. It's because of this probably mechanism, so just don't do that, because if you end up breaking it, that's obviously not going to be fun, and it's just not fun to have a broken toy right away, of course. So let's get to some of the other articulation, which is right up here in the head, and this is pretty much all that is left in terms of articulation. And even though it seems like the figure's on a ball joint, which is kind of like, you know, almost like a bone socket, like where you have this part and then this is kind of how the head clips on, and then it could rotate up and down and side to side as well. It seems like that might be the case, but because of this chin compartment and part, it doesn't want to go up or down whatsoever, and because of this cap back here, it could be just a swivel point. I could be 100% wrong about that, but it just seems to me like there is a bit of a range to go up and down, just a tiny little bit. Not much, but the range side to side is actually pretty cool, and you can get him into some neat poses. Like, look at that. Imagine Hulk is staring back at him. That just looks cool. Like, that looks neat. It looks like they're about to throw down, and it's going to be an epic fight and scene, which that's exactly what it's going to be in the actual movie. Now, another thing that's super fun about this thing is the little gimmick, which is right here. This big button that's protruding out of his right bicep. And the cool thing about this is that I love when they put like little gimmicks like this, or little elements or toys, when they don't break up the toy. Like, you know, sometimes they'll put the button like somewhere like across the entire chest, and it just ruins the way that the toy looks. Here, it kind of blends in nicely. Like, yes, it's protruding out, but it's not so obvious that you're like, oh my god, what the heck is going on with his bicep, you know? So I think that that's really cool. And of course, now let's go ahead and take a look at this jackhammer punch feature, which is a ton of fun to do, but it's probably going to drive your parents crazy if you buy this thing. There you go. That's a ton of fun to do. I've been doing that a lot. Everybody doesn't like it anymore because I'll just run it up and be like, Hulk smash! And I'll just do that, which it gets annoying. I'm sure that probably already got annoying to all of you who are watching that, but it's a ton of fun to do, and it's a ton of fun to just run around, get these jackhammer punches going, just cool stuff. And as you can see, it also does activate the sound effect there to go along with that, which is pretty sweet as well. Speaking of the sound effect, from what I counted, there are over 20 sound effects. I don't know the specific number because I feel like I haven't cycled maybe even through all of them, because the way that they do this is basically, if you have other figures, other Titan hero figures, what happens is that he can interact with them. So if they say things to him, he will say things back to them. And basically, they give you a little bit of a sheet here that shows you, excuse me, Hulkbuster, stop it. Stop it. I'm talking now. Just stop it, please. But yeah, they give you a little bit of a sheet right here that kind of explains like what things he's going to say to which character. So he can talk to Captain America, to Thor, to Iron Man, the Mark 43, of course to Ultron, which sounds cool. I really am wondering to see what they're going to do with the Ultron figure, because if it's as cool as this thing, I'm going to pick that up. I'm not going to pick up Hulk, Iron Man, Captain America, or Thor. They look pretty terrible to me, so I'm not interested in that. But luckily, the cool thing is that just by pressing the buttons, these are some of the other lines that he says right there, you can cycle through a lot of them and he will say them still. So let's go ahead and begin. We're gonna just maybe do this for a couple minutes here and see what kind of things we can get the Hulkbuster to say to us. Maybe he'll tell us some secrets. Maybe he'll tell us what happens in Avengers. What if all of a sudden he just goes like, and then Captain America dies? That'd be a big spoiler, wouldn't it? I really hope that doesn't happen. And like 6 months from now, when we've watched Avengers: Age of Ultron, I'm like, I spoiled it without even knowing that I did. All right, here we go.
Hulkbuster powering up. Yeah, cover the perimeter.
So as you can see there, he said Hulkbuster powering up, and then he talked to Captain America saying, Cap, cover the perimeter. Ow! Ouch, that hurt, Hulkbuster. What's up with that, broski? So that's, of course, the little repulsor blast, which I'm assuming is coming through the chest, because I'm not sure if he's going to have repulsor blasts on his hands.
Rerouting power to arc reactor.
There's the rerouting power to the arc reactor. By the way, that isn't Robert Downey Jr., at least to me, it doesn't sound like him. So it could be him, but I don't think that is him, because he doesn't sound anything like he does in the films or in real life. There's that repulsor blast noise again.
Oh yeah, this is power.
That line gets me all the time, because I can never picture Iron Man in the film saying that. Like, imagine Iron Man fighting Hulk and then he's like, oh yeah, this is power. Like, with the way he said that, it's just so ridiculous. Oh yeah, this is power. Now if there's one thing I know about power, is that this is it. Like, I don't know, it's just so funny. That line just gets me every time.
Thor, you've got the power, I've got the tech.
Thor, you've got the power, and I've got the touch. You've got the power. That's a Transformers song. Boom! That's a massive explosion. Or maybe he's just trying to take off on those ginormous boosters on his feet. So maybe that's what that noise is all about.
Bruce, it's time to calm down.
Bruce, come on down.
Avengers, assemble.
Avengers indeed will assemble. Ooh, I love that. That's a cool noise. So that's kind of a walking noise. That's why I'm saying that there's over 20 noises, because there's for sure 19 lines that this thing says. But then there are all these other noises, like the repulsor blasts, the punches noise, that walking noise, that... I love that. That's cool, because it gives that figure like that weight and that cool element.
Oh yeah, this is power.
Oh yeah, this is power.
I need an upgrade.
I need an upgrade.
Rerouting power to arc reactor.
Rerouting the power to the arc reactor. There's that cool walking noise again.
Thor, lightning strike there.
There we go. Thor, lightning strike there now. And the reason why I'm repeating a lot of them is because I'm not sure how well the camera is picking up all these noises. So, yeah. There's a repulsor blast noise again.
Captain, I'm your one machine army.
All right, there you go. Captain, I'm your one machine army. And in this suit, I'm not even going to argue, Mr. Tony.
Hulkbuster powering up.
There's the Hulkbuster powering up line. There's a punching noise.
Oh, big guy.
Wow, big guy. That one is also funny, because that's just, again, wow, big guy. Sounds like a cowboy.
Repulsor blast.
Repulsor blast.
Let's armor up.
Let's armor up.
Avengers, assemble. Rerouting power to arc reactor. Hulk, stop tearing up my armor.
There we go. Hulk, stop tearing up my armor. I'm sure he'll listen. He's just like, Hulk, just stop. And he's like, oh yeah, sure, that's it. The fight's over. All right, let's do 2 more noises. Repulsor blast again. And the punching noise. So, with that in mind, again, as you saw, obviously I read up all the other lines. I showed you them on screen, so if you wanted to pause, you could read, and maybe some of them didn't play. I think that we didn't hear the vibranium armor, huh? Impressive. And Ultron, you're just a cheap copy, which I kind of wish that I could hear, because I've never heard those two.
Pin him down.
Maybe if I talked to him like, Tony, there are no strings on me.
Assemble.
There are no strings on me. No, he just does not want to. He's just not going to do it. I think there's some sort of technology right here that, like, maybe they did, like, when they're attracted to one another, they talk. I'm not sure. I really wish that I could be able to hear that, but we don't get a chance to hear it, because that sounds like a cool line. Ultron, you're just a cheap copy. That sounds cool. So, with that in mind, of course, if you run out of batteries, what this thing takes is 3 AA batteries right here. So, as you can see, you just open up the back compartment right there. Just remove that screw. That comes out. You place the 3 batteries, and you're good to go. But it does come with batteries, so that's pretty sweet. So, the neat thing is that it's not one of those toys that, you know, you get it, you're like, oh my god, this is going to be so cool. And then you open it, it's like no batteries, and then, of course, you run around.
This is power.
I get it. It's powered. Let's just relax. Hulkbuster, relax. So yeah, it's not one of those things that's going to disappoint you about not having batteries inside. So with that in mind, there you guys go. I hope you guys enjoyed the Age of Ultron, aka the Avengers Age of Ultron, of course, Hulkbuster toy review for the Hero Titan line. I believe that's what it's called. Is it Hero Titan or Titan Hero? I think it's Titan Hero. Titan Hero Tech. I think that's what it was called. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, smack that like button. If we hit 1,200 likes, it'd be absolutely spectacular. I do indeed hope to see you folks here next time. Peace out. Cheerleaders, alligators. Bye-bye, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. I'm going to get to painting this guy. Again, follow me on Twitter if you want to see work in progress pics of this guy. And, oh yeah, this is power.